Welcome to the Joy Hour with Ella Mesma and guests. Grab yourself a tea, get cozy and settle in for real conversations with real people about their messy, beautiful journey to joy and what it took to build a creative life on their own terms. We have Lil Muxoll Nielsen in the house. Welcome, Lil.
Hello, Ella. Lovely to be here.
I'm excited for this conversation. I've been so excited for a while about this conversation. So Lil is an ambassador for Orgasmic expansion. Lil is a neurobiologist, consciousness mentor, and embodiment facilitator who blends modern science with ancient wisdom to support profound embodied transformation, inviting you to rediscover the true magic in life. Together, we remember that we're not merely here to survive life, but to consciously create it and become true masters of our reality. A reality of orgasmic expansion into joy, aliveness, and creative power. I I love seeing your journey, the joy that you bring, and just you being in your heart. So thank you for joining us. And where
My
are
pleasure.
you from today?
I'm tuning in from Southern Denmark. So take a map and go to the most southwestern corner of Denmark, and there you'll find me.
Beautiful. And I always love to start with what's a recent joy? Can you share a recent joy with us, Lil?
Oh, well, I am surrounded by a tiny herd of horses. So I've got 4 horses. And actually, it grew to 4 just recently because my mare has become a foal, and this foal is bringing me so much joy every single day. So it's really like this heart explosion of love. This is it is so beautiful to see this absolutely connected and limitlessly loving animal growing, and it brings me so much joy. It is absolutely not connected with the work I do, and it is connected so much at the same time because being connected with her and seeing her grow and how judgment free she is and how open hearted she is, that is teaching me so much and bringing me so much joy.
I feel it already, just hearing you speaking it, I can really feel that energy and that inspiration of watching and witnessing. Wow, beautiful. So I'm joining you from Munich today, and I think my joy has to do with my nervous system. I've just come from a Rolfing session. I've just been giving a session and receiving a session, and I'm loving the joy of noticing how my nervous system each session relaxes more, both as a giver, like as a facilitator, but also in the receiving of like, wow, I can allow my whole body to lie on this massage table and I don't have to hold anymore. And it kind of feels like that's something that we both have a shared fascination with the nervous system.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah, I'd love to.
And maybe we start with just a bit of kind of your journey with your nervous system.
Yes. So you just mentioned that I am a neuroscientist, and I took my master's degree in neuroscience and behavioral science because I really wanted to understand how the world is. And it took me into a different direction. It took me into exploring how we really embody and expand in our true essence in our nervous system and our body. So having this background of biological understanding, scientific understanding, and then very much spiritual part, connecting to essence, having a celestial root in this life. Um, yeah, it connected me into diving deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole of how we can connect, understand our nervous system and how it is influencing how we experience joy, how we experience sadness, how we experience overwhelm, why it sometimes is our nervous system that is the thing that is holding us back from expressing and expanding into joy and into fulfillment. So after having studied, I went on to several trainings on feeling, on sensing, went down the tantric path, went down the Kundalini path, um, really just reconnected to my true essence. And also a big part of it was having my horses with me all my life, because the horses are one huge example for an expanded and efficient and resilient nervous system. They really teach us how to be coherent, how to be balanced, because they just shake it off and then they move on. So when not suppressed, let's talk natural, normal horses, although they are our pets in that path. But I'd really wanted to understand the world. I wanted to understand why I could bond so much with my horses. So I took that route of studying and then making it more of a practitioner's way, diving into the, embodiment part of neuroscience.
I love that, the embodiment part of neuroscience. So that's what you do now, the embodiment part of neuroscience.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I coach and I facilitate how we really master our reality. We have some magical tools how we can create and how we really can create from our true vision, from our heart, from joy, from what we love. But people often hit a glass ceiling or get stuck on that way because it's like, yeah, but why can't I come further? And that's where the nervous system part or the biological scientific part comes into play, to understand that there has to be a certain change within the nervous system, in the hormonal and in the biochemical structure of the body, to really facilitate this exploring the vision and creating it. We can create like that anytime. But if our nervous system is not ready, it will like put an anchor into the stuckness and say, I don't really think we can do that right now. So it's bringing this understanding to coaching, bringing this understanding to facilitating embodiment. Why can't I feel myself? Why can't I feel this orgasmic expansion? Why isn't life always joy? Why is it so hard at times? When you understand the part of the nervous system, which is, let's say putting a block. It's not vicious. It is just survival structure and it was necessary at one point. But if you understand it, you get a total different perspective and relationship to it, and you can work on it. Because if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you can take action. So this is bringing it all together.
Beautiful. And as you were speaking, I was kind of trying to think of examples. And maybe actually what I shared just before we came on the call of me, I just came back from my honeymoon, which was amazing. And my nervous system was super, super relaxed. But it was quite a shock to come back into the real world, because it was literally like kind of these 2 weeks of just fairy tale, amazing, and also really allowing my nervous system to relax in beautiful ways. And then suddenly it was like the biggest plane I've ever been on, and all these voices, and just it was like, whoa, that first of all. And then coming to Germany from the UK, it really felt like my nervous system was just like, no, like we're just not, we'd signed out. And this kind of recognizing of, I think probably my old pattern would be try and push through and essentially kind of be more in that energy of the fear and the stuff, the activation, but to recognize, oh, this is going on. There's all this stuff going on within me, and that actually what I need to do is bring my nervous system back to a space where I can be back in the joy or back in that kind of creation energy, or come back out of a fear pattern of thinking I'm in survival mode, and then I can create again from perhaps even from a new level, right? So does that resonate as a kind of example?
I'd love to take that as an example because it is what is happening. Um, so the adaptation process of the nervous system is actually quite slow. We can do quantum jumps at any time, but on the other hand, we have a very slow adaptation process to the body. So um, when the body hits this no, um, to explore it non-judgmentally, to just allow to feel without diving into the thoughts and into the heavy emotions that might arise from that is exactly what helps us to balance the nervous system because these thoughts and these emotions arise from the same place where survival once happened and still is running the show. And to just be with it, to just taking it in fully, not fighting it,
Mm.
not trying to make it differently, but still having the vision to change, to move forward from that position where you're at. That is basically what everything is about. To just incorporate it and making it this beautiful journey of, yeah, being this human and taking all the heavy stuff in, but reframing it. And by reframing it, we really change our biochemistry. And mm, I love to use an example. There are some sweets, which are covered in coconut drizzle, like
Mm.
balls or stuff. And imagine this is your cell, and it is covered in these coconut drizzles. And these coconut drizzles are, or sprinkles is the right word, I think. Um, these sprinkles are the receptors of our cells, so they are all ready for coconut. And coconut is the old structure, is the old survival system, is the old survival biochemistry. And whenever we are not aware of riding the old survival patterns, this will just run automatically. Coconut will come in, feed coconut receptors. When we decide to step out of that and try to be with the nervous system, understand that it takes some time to adapt and it takes some time to feel again. We change the receptors on the cell, so it's not waiting for coconut anymore. It can change to receive. That's how chocolate sprinkles. Chocolate sprinkles, which are joy, which are excitement, and out of a sudden, the balance of the cell's surface in receptor numbers will change to not wanting so much coconut anymore to run, but waiting for chocolate sprinkle.
Mm.
And that is the point where joy becomes like a everyday expression, an everyday choice, an everyday, yeah, expansion in our life. So the biochemistry will change when we allow to feel instead of just riding over what is happening in the body. When we are able to process, like you do your beautiful Rolfing at the moment. I do a lot of sensory energetics. I do Kundalini work where we really release the stuck energy that is connected to coconut survival structures and facilitate the formation of new receptors to integrate a different approach to life, a different shaping of reality.
Beautiful.
I hope that makes sense.
As you were speaking, or as I was kind of picturing the Kundalini, I believe, just correct me if I'm wrong, but you're talking about Kundalini alignment process.
I have made a discovery that not everywhere Kundalini is termed the same. So maybe it's the same or maybe it's not. But when we connect into the frequencies of source and we step back into our essence and let that fill our body, then we shat the coconut and allow the cells to take on new information. And maybe that is what you mean. So the alignment of body, mind, heart, soul, and source. So it's not only aligning body, mind, and heart. It is really taking in the source part.
Oof, there's so many things that I'm like just kind of connecting the dots in my training and what you're sharing about. One thing I'd love to ask you, because this is something I'm journeying, because I'm a TRE practitioner as well, so trauma release exercise.
Yes.
And I love seeing it in animals, like you mentioned, the horses, and they just shake naturally, and that it's something that's so oppressed. And for me, like TRE helped me so much. I had an injury in 2020, quite a bad injury, and I knew to just shake, that the doctors were like, "Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Do you need me to like stop you shaking?" And I was like, "No, no, no, let me shake. I know what I need to do." And I wonder, like, I'm so intrigued in Kundalini and other practices where it feels that this is part of the work. And if you see the connection between the horses shaking and Kundalini.
So when we again start with the nervous system here, the nervous system and our body has an innate wisdom. You know that from your work as well. So when we are born, our nervous system is open, free, easily receiving source and easily adapting, shaking off if there has been a stress response. But over time, we need to survive this life as essence and body, or
Mhm.
body within essence. And we forget, or we turn our back to it. And it is not a process we do willingly, it just happens to survive.
Mm.
And horses don't forget. Horses don't build this trauma-informed neurostructure. If we again speak horses that are kept well and not abused, but they keep this free, connected nervous system that is able to just shake it off.
Mm.
In Kundalini, we kind of reconnect, bypass the survival structures through the non-dual states of being. So we don't dissociate from the body. We just take it in to this non-dual state of being and allow the trauma-informed structures to step back and the innate wisdom to step forward by not thinking, by not going on to emotional rights. However, there will be emotional releases, there will be shaking, which take over or happen when we let the survival structure step back. And again, okay, how do I do that? But it is a choice. It is a choice. It is focusing on non-duality. It is focusing on being connected. And that really is the trick. It sounds like so simple, and it actually is. It is.
Mm.
The thing that is keeping us from really easily stepping into it is that we have not learned to just allow the emotions and thoughts of survival structure to just be there, to just let them be there and say, hi, welcome. It's all good. Uh, you have risen once to protect this body so I can have this life experience beautifully. But now it's okay. You can just be there, but there's no need for you right now. But then we're back to the biochemical structure of our bodies. People have turned their back to it and haven't been reconnected, don't understand what is happening, so they step back from it. This is actually quite frightening to see your body move on its own if you are not intellectually soothing the mind and understanding it rationally what is happening. So, back to horses, they give us a beautiful example to just witness. Okay, there's That's a bang. We have a lot of huntsmen around here, so they go out and shoot, and then it's a bang, and the horse goes shock.
Mm.
And it's like, then you see the big breath out, and then sometimes you just see like a little wiggle with the hat, or you just see the wiggle through the whole body. They shake, and then they move on. No bad feelings, and nothing to take on here.
Mm.
They haven't forgotten to release and to integrate and to just let go through the emotion and thoughts that might be associated to the trauma that they just have experienced, the shock, the bang.
Powerful. Yeah. I so I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher, or have been teaching Kundalini yoga, but I've also done what I understand in Lisbon as CAP, Kundalini alignment process, I believe. And it was amazing. First of all, just to witness in the room, she kind of demoed on one person. There was just something so fascinating to witness it and then to experience that kind of freedom. I'm very fascinated in this at the moment, the shape, the different kind of aspects of movement shifting, energy shifting through the body. I also experienced that not the first time I met my husband, but we had a conversation in South Africa, and I realized, holy shit, there's like a Kundalini thing going on in me, that it's a different energy. This is not trauma release. This is like Kundalini energy rising through my body. And all we're doing is just having a conversation. It's very serious and nothing to do, at the time we were not in a relationship. We were just having a conversation. But I was like, there's a whole other thing going on. It was amazing, later to be like, I think my body knew that he was going to be my husband, even though it was, maybe 7 years before or something. But I'm very interested. I'd love to hear a bit about the Kundalini energy rising and that experience, that orgasmic experience.
So, yes, trauma release is not Kundalini activation or the Kundalini rising. Um, Trauma release is stock energy stored in cells, stored in our tissues, finding a way out. Trauma release and somatic releases happen during Kundalini rising. Not always, but they can happen. And that is because, at least for me, and there are a lot of people out there having different experiences with Kundalini. And for me, it is the pure essence of our being, the serene energy that is just freed, freed and streaming through us. It is our innate state to have this experience of orgasmic expansion of energy. So the whole body, after releasing what may be on top and has to leave the body as somatic releases, that already gives kind of a tension expansion experience. It's like contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. Um, when that has left the body, there is a free passage, and this passage, inviting in this non-dual state of connectedness and energy, is just, I can't describe it better than you stand on a jet stream and the energy is just shooting up, and it's like your hair is flying in every direction. It is like you have multiple orgasms, but in the whole body. It is crying and laughing at the same time. It is like being in the body and outside of the body. It is being connected to the massive universe and to the tiniest atom. It is like being everything. And that is not always the case when you are choosing to activate your Kundalini energy. And there are also different perspectives on it that you can't choose to activate. I, I think we can, because
Mm.
what I've experienced here, that wasn't just, well, it was accidentally, because my very first Kundalini actually awakening was like boom. I couldn't control anything, but then I dove into it, and now I'm like, okay, I can start it. started by choice. Being in that and being in the resonance, you were in resonance with your husband to be already then, because there is something about the truth of your energy flowing freely through your body when there is no more trauma energy stuck around the free passageway. And
Mm.
being connected to the truth is, for me, one of the major parts of it, and being connected with the soul to be your husband, the soul to be your partner rings true, and that allows it to just take off. I'm like, "Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Ah, it's just taking me off here, sorry." A lot of fun here.
And I wanna, yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to take part in one of your events. I'm trying to think, what would the listener love to hear right now? And I feel to ask you about you as an ambassador for orgasmic expansion.
An ambassador for orgasmic expansion is kind of my calling. It came to be in an intuitive reading to be the ambassador of orgasmic expansion, to really let people remember their limitless potential, remember how great this life is, how a gift it is with everything that's in it. So, having joy and curiosity and excitement as your status quo in everyday life, although it might be stressful, although it might be hard, although we have to recover from jet lag and, yeah, a lot of input from outside, a lot of heavy energies that are around, that's no doubt.
Mm.
I am working with the Kundalini. I am working with sensory energetics, which is going into the more physical plane, releasing a lot of somatic stress here, somatic tension here, but giving you the same beautiful full body orgasms, creating health. Because when you're healthy, you can expand, you can follow what you truly envision, you can take the action steps. Um, Working with what I call quantum intelligence, which is a merge of the spiritual and the scientific approach to how to master our reality. So, having neuroscience, having quantum physics, having biochemistry, but also beautiful magical work of old ancient cultures, how we really create. They knew so much, we just forgot.
Yeah.
Put that all into a big cauldron. I made this beautiful magical work I do. So, really accessing this state of constant joy, although life might be difficult at times, but making the difficult times exquisite pain. Like,
Mm.
also being thankful to feel that, being able to grieve, being able to feel pain, being able to witness how this beautiful body recovers after an injury or an accident. And yeah, just having this vitality, gosh, my vitality just exponential growth throughout the last 5 years because there's so much energy. There's so much energy. And I share that in workshops. I share that through coaching, where I bring everything in to this beautiful cauldron of magic and have people really embrace their essence, but also their vulnerability of the survival structures, feeling, having fun, enjoying, connecting in ways we usually do not connect anymore in our society today. Just being in awe and wonder for life, the small things, touching the sand on the beach, hugging a tree, connecting, changing, exchanging energies here. That's what I try to facilitate with it. So really creating this beautiful reality, this beautiful life experience from what we truly came here for, to explore and enjoy.
I mean, the joy is definitely coming through, and the energy that is your being, your beingness is definitely coming through, and it's such a joy to witness.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, if our listeners would love to connect with you, how might they go about doing that?
I'll invite you all to jump onto my website. You can find me under theinfinite.me, and check out my Insta, check out my events. You can jump on online events, you can jump onto coaching programs, one-on-one coaching. I am a lot in Denmark, Germany, but also, yeah, traveling to beautiful locations to hold retreats, which might be nearer to you. And yeah, just reach out. I love to connect. I love to connect one way or the other, and then we figure out where our journey might lead us.
Such a joy. Thank you. And all of those links are in the show notes as well. Thank you so much, Lil. It's been such a joy to journey with you today. And thank you to our listeners.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening, and we would love to hear what stood out for you from today's conversation in the comments. If this conversation resonated, please subscribe to the Joy Hour, share it, and leave a review so that others can find their way here too. And of course, follow us on social media. And if you'd like to deepen your own joy practice, grab a free gift from my journal to joy at mayagandaya.com/joy hour gift. Thank you so much to our wonderful guests today, and you can read more about them, their work, and connect with them at links in the show notes below. Thanks again, and until next time, sending you love and joy.